Well, hello, welcome to Riders Rain Crochet. Today we are doing our giraffe. This is a 3-set pattern. I will give the link to the other 2 videos. I will also give the link to the Etsy pattern where I had purchased the actual pattern. This is an adaptation of the pattern. I do a couple things different. I am using, though, baby cotton 25. Looks like this. I did have the wrapper on it 1 minute ago, but I yanked it off, so sorry. It's made by Gazelle, and a 2mm hook. The pattern does ask for a 1.75 for the horns. These horns were done with a 2. I don't see any difference. We'll go ahead and once we get to that, I'll let you know because I'll do it in a 2. And then if it's too big, maybe I did jump back down to 1.75. I've got a metal or a wooden ring, teething ring, 6 centimeter. Picked them up at Amazon, and a rattle box inside. I actually just use these. They're a lot more affordable, and they fit in just fine, and they're very lightweight. So that helps a lot with the bobbly part of the head. So anyway, we're going to go ahead. Oh, and 7mm eyes is what we used. I used on this. The pattern asked for 7 as well. So let's go ahead and get started here. We are supposed to start with a magic ring with 6 single crochets. For some reason, my little fingers just do not like to do that. So I do a chain 2, and then I do 6 single crochets in that first chain. I have not had a problem with this working in the past, so that's how we're going to do it. Tuck your yarn, of course, if you can. All right, there's our 6. And now let's go ahead and go around and increase so that we end up having a total of 12 stitches when we're done. I don't like to tuck my yarn completely because I still want to pull it one last time, but I know that it is tucked enough that it's going to be safe to not unravel or be any problems. Then I'll snip that. Okay, and now we're going to be on 11 and 12. Now, I'm sure that everybody watching this video has made a circle before or a head of some sort. So I'm just going to kind of send you guys on your way. So what we're going to do is single crochet increase around. We're going to go 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 6 single crochet increase to get us a nice flat surface to work on before we get any depth in there. If you guys know how to split your stitches on the even numbers, go ahead and do that. The pattern doesn't require it, but I think that it's a good habit just to get into. So if you guys want to just go ahead and get your rounds finished up all the way up to 6 single crochet increases. We'll meet back together here when we got a little bit larger piece to work with and move on to our depth of our head. Okay, there we go. Very nice job, guys. Okay, we are done and we should have 48 stitches. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and do 5 rounds of 48 stitches. We want to make sure at the end of those, well, preferably the very first row of 48, we make sure we do have 48 stitches. So now we're going to start getting our depth. So let's do 5 rounds of 48 stitches, and I will meet you guys back here at the end of those 5 rounds, and we will move on to creating our eye holes for our eyes. Okay, you guys are back, and we should look like this. Very nice. So now what we're going to do is make our eye holes. These I love to do with any pattern that I can do it to. It helps, one, for me to know exactly where to put the eyes at instead of trying to count in between. And it also helps with if I wanted to go with a bigger eye, and instead of ripping my yarn or boogering it up, I have that space. So let's go ahead and start with 20 single crochets. And 18, 19, and 20. We're going to chain 1, then we're going to skip 1, and we're going to do 6 single crochets. All right. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip 1, and we've just made our second eye hole. And now we should have 20 stitches back to the beginning. (16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Very lovely. See? Oh, how nice. So now we have eye holes already made for us so that when we come back and get those eyes on, we have no problems. The distance between or if our post is too big. So now what we're going to do is we're going to now do 4 rounds of the 48 stitches. What I do want you guys to do is to remember, hopefully you can see this, is that we know that the stitch we go into is actually behind the post, or on the right hand side of where the post is. So this one here is the chain space. You do not have to don't split that, just go in the chain space. But what can happen is that this one right here, which is actually this next single crochet, is we skip that because we fill this space up and that gets really small and we have a tendency to jump over it. So make sure you get that hidden stitch that's right after that chain space. So make sure you're counting on this round 48 stitches. And then if you don't have 48 stitches, you'll know you might have skipped one of these. Okay, so we're going to move on. I'm going to let you guys work on your own for 4 more rounds of the 48 single crochets. And if you guys want to count again, 20, and then make sure you get that, whatever you need to do, 4 more rounds of 48 stitches. And I will see you guys back here when we're ready to start reducing. We'll go ahead and get our eyes on. And so when you guys come back, get your rounds done, 4 more rounds, and get your eyes and your backs ready. Okay, we are back together again, and we should look like this. now we're going to go ahead and put our eyes on. I'm going to go ahead and just get this loop safetied up so I don't lose anything. And we decided 7mm eyes. So I'm going to grab those and our backs. Here we go. And then you're going to come around and you're going to find your eye holes. Remember, they're 4 stitches up, so you'll just kind of have to keep looking around. You'll find them. Okay. Here we are. Very cute. Right now, if you can, double check you got 2 of the same size eyeballs. I've actually done this before, not paying attention, got my back done on. Then I got done with my whole project and I went, oh Lord, I had 2 different size eyes. If that ever happens, don't throw your project away. You can always use something like this to slide up under there and you can literally pop that off. The problem is that when you put a new eye in, you got to glue it really well because there's absolutely no way you can get it back on it. So always double check. Try to remember to double check before you do anything, because sometimes they just fall into different spots in your sheet. Okay, so we're going to get these backs popped on. And then what we're going to do, and most of you guys have probably seen this, but I was so excited when somebody showed it to me. We're going to go ahead and melt the back of these. It might catch on fire, so beware. Please do not burn all your hard work. And then press it down immediately. In just a second or so, see our back? That is not coming off no matter what. And here we go again, which is so nice to have. I actually bought a whole set of eyes and backs, and the backs didn't stay on. Of course, I didn't find that out until after it popped off one of my projects, and I was very sad, very, very sad about it. So I just do this every time, no matter what. You also just have to, especially if it's for a baby, which this is for a baby, you want to make sure that that eye is not coming off absolutely no matter what. No matter what. Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to put our rattle box or our rattle in, and then we're going to go ahead and start stuffing our head. Stuff as you go. It makes it easier to work. And we are now going to start reducing. I'm going to wait on that just a couple minutes here so we can get you guys started. And we're going to go completely backwards from what we had done before. So we left off at 6 single crochet increases. We are now going to do 6 single crochet decreases. So we're going to do invisible decreases. This is 5. And here's 6. I'm sure everybody has seen this, but we'll go ahead and just go over it for anybody who's new and is trying this out. That is the invisible decrease. You cannot see invisible decreases very well at all. I've been crocheting 30 plus years, and it sometimes it even escapes my eyes. So when you decrease, focus on what you're doing. Make sure you keep your counts, because increases you can always go back and go, there's 2 coming out of that stitch. Decreases, it really is almost impossible to see that decrease. So be aware of that. We're going to do 6, 5, 4, and 3, all the way down to 2. 6 single crochet decreases. So I want you guys to keep stuffing, keep reducing, each time around doing 1 less single crochet as before. And I'm going to meet you guys back here when you are finished with 2 single crochet decreases. You've got your stuffing in, you've got your ball in, and we are going to have this almost completely closed down. Okay, so I will see you guys then. Good luck. All right, so now we are done. We've got 18 stitches. We had 18 stitches. We're going to finish stuffing our head. So it's very important that when we do use our stuffing, pull it apart like this. That makes it more malleable once it's in there and it doesn't leave a big clump. And always remember to get up under here. Do you see that? I was making these oblong heads for I don't know how long, until down here might be hard, but under this lip was not. So this looks stuffed, but it is not stuffed. So we are going to just keep, and I do this like that. That way I know I'm getting those sides in there, and pull apart, and in we go. So you guys can cut your yarn with a long tail for sewing. We're going to go ahead and keep working on this stuffing here until it is like pretty brick hard. We don't want the stitches to stretch by no means, but we don't want any play behind those stitches as well. And as you can see, what we thought was full sure can take a whole lot more stuffing. And of course, again, pull that lip. If I didn't have this rattle in here, typically what I do is I stretch like this and leave a big hole in the middle, fill the hole, put my fingers in, stretch like this. But I have a rattle in there, so all I'm doing is hitting the rattle. So now I'm just going in, getting in here and getting up under this, kind of like maybe you put butter, you know, under the skin of your turkey or something like that. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not. But now we're looking better and we're getting a lot rounder head. And now it really is feeling very firm. I feel like I could get a little bit more in here before I finish. And then when we meet back, we're going to go ahead and start moving on to our next steps. We've got a really good looking head going. And I will leave you guys to your stuffing. Oh, turkey and stuffing. Isn't that funny? Ha ha. Anyway, sorry, I cracked myself up. All right, good luck. See you in a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make the muzzle, the nose part, and it is done in white. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip my backing over here to so you guys can see the white a little better. And we're going to start with a magic ring and 6 single crochets, or in my case, chain 2 with 6 single crochets in the first chain. Then, of course, we're going to go around. We're going to do an increase. I say, of course, like that's always the case. It is not always the case. In this case, it is, though. Okay. So 6 single crochets are going to turn into 12. And my last set here, and 11 and 12. Wonderful. And then we're going to do one more increase round of 1 single crochet increase. So we will be at 18 stitches. And on my last set, single crochet, and increase. Okay, so we should have 18 stitches. And now what we're going to do is 2 rounds of 18 stitches, and then we're going to go ahead and fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing in. Have you guys go ahead and finish that, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to these really cute little ears. I love ears like this. Okay, so you guys finish that and get ready to do our ears. All right, we are on to our ears. Let's do 4 single crochets in a magic ring, or chain 2, and 4 single crochets in the first chain. Let's go ahead and go around and increase so that we have a total of 8 stitches. Everything is so much smoother off camera. Okay. Like I just literally did an ear with no problem. And here I am, struggling. Okay, we have 8 single crochets now. Let's go ahead and do 3 single crochet increase. And this is going to get us to a total of 10 stitches. All right, now let's do 4 single crochet increase. Get this turned. So we got 1, and this is going to give us a total of 12 stitches. And then after this round, we are going to do 3 rows of 12 single crochets. Then what we'll do is fold our piece in half, and then we are going to single crochet across, and for 5, so that we have 5 single crochets. All right, so now we're going to do 3 rounds of 12 single crochets. Then what we'll end up doing is folding it in half. I always like to shove something down in there tonight to get a real nice pokey tip if I can. And then fold it in half, single crochet across, 5 single crochets. So I'll see you guys once you're done with both your ears. One more time, we're going to be doing 3 rounds of 12 single crochets, and I'll see you for our next step in our project. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how to do the horns. I went ahead and did 1 horn with the 2mm hook. And by the time I got this sewn in on, this is the same size. So, but I did make sure that I crocheted it really tight. Not that you don't crochet amigurumi really tight anyway, but so I don't feel like you guys need to jump down to 1.75 if you do not want to do that. I think that the 2 will be just fine. It's fitting in here good, and I don't think that this looks oversized by no means. But I don't think I've actually tried it with a 1.75. So there's that. So maybe you guys want to try and maybe you don't. Let me move this. Okay, so we're going to start a magic ring. 6 single crochets. Get my two chain done here and get my 6 in. All right. 1, 2. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to increase. We're going to get ourselves to 12. I know. I know you want to go swimming in the pool, but we have to wait.
Okay.
Okay.
We done the doctor, okay?
I think Mom's home from the doctor.
Yeah.
Yep, she just got home.
Crochet on the page.
On the page, there's some crochet. Yes, there is. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. That's my 2-year-old granddaughter. No use in stopping recording, though, right? Single crochet increase all the way around so that, oh, whoops, I'm so sorry. Stop right there. We are at 12 single crochets. Back up. Okay, now we're going to do 2 rounds of 12 single crochets. Okay, this is finishing up round 1, then round 2. We're going to get started on that. So my granddaughter, she lives with me, my daughter, my granddaughter, and she loves that Grandma Crochets because she gets to play with everything I make, which I actually kind of like because she's pretty hard on toys. And this way I know that I can give it as a gift or I can sell it, and I know that nothing is going to fall apart on it because I let her bang it around, and we're so much gentler with things than kids are, you know. They just drop them, it rolls down the stairs, all that good stuff. Okay, so we are almost done with this. Then we're going to do, after these 2 rounds, we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet decrease to drop us back down to 8. You guys are probably ahead of me at this point. I'm struggling. It's funny, I do that other horn. I didn't have a single problem until I turned the camera on. And then all of a sudden, my fingers just stopped working. Invisible decrease, of course. You are always going to do an invisible decrease on amigurumi, unless, for example, you're doing a back loop only, then it's going to be, you're not going to do that. Doesn't matter. No one's going to see it anyway. Or sometimes I have to do it if I'm at the very end of like a circle and it's just getting too tight for me. So then I'll just do a regular decrease. So this is going to get us back down to 8 stitches. Now from here, I want you to actually right now go ahead and stuff your horn if you're going to stuff it. It is going to take such a little amount of stuffing. You do not want to try to get it in once we build up here. It makes it even worse. So go ahead and stuff it. We're at 8 stitches. Then you're going to do 2 rounds of 8 stitches. And then you can go ahead and fasten off. And then we're going to start on the body. So see you guys in just a minute. And good luck on the horns. Okay, I hope you guys got 2 cute little horns going on. We got 2 little ears going on. We've got our nose or our muzzle here. That has some green in there somehow. Okay. And our head. So now what we're going to do is we're going to crochet the body, which is actually the part that we're actually crocheting this band. That's right here, okay? That's what we're working on here. And then once we do that, we're going to start attaching everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 25. 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so you guys may want to experiment. This is the width, how far down this ring is going to go, the body is going to go. It's about halfway. And now we're going to go back and forth, chain 1 turn, go, chain 1 turn, and crochet 24 of them as long as a piece that we need. It'll look like a little swatch that we're going to wrap around this and sew onto here. It says to do about 12 rows total, anywhere 10 to 12. You need to just keep checking because it is going to depend a lot on how tight you crochet, on the exact yarn you're using, the ring that you have. There's no way in this situation you're going to just be able to say, yep, that's right, that's what's going to work all the time. It's just not going to. I would say about maybe around 8. You guys kind of look and see where you're at. I think I've been having like 10 total, but that's like from memory, but I'm not sure if I'm counting that little chain and this stitch here, so it could actually be 12 altogether once I'm done. You do want it to be really tight, and I will jump back in here once I'm a little bit closer, and I want to show you, you don't want your rattle head to be sliding anywhere, so you want this to be pretty darn snug on that wood ring. So we're going to go ahead and keep going down. We come down here just in case. A lot of times what we're going to see on this that we've done in the past is like cuffs or banding, but we do back loop only. We are not doing that this time. We do not want that stretchiness that comes with that that back loop only banding that we're used to doing that has got quite a bit of bounce to it. We don't want that. So we'll chain 1, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to go through both of the loops here, like so. That's the only thing, if you're any of you guys are anything like me, that's going to be, is not to remember to go through both loops instead of back loop only, because that's typically where we use this at. So, okay, so I'm going to leave you guys 24 stitches. You may not even want or like it to be 24 stitches, depending on your ring. So you guys will just have to play with it a little bit, see where you think it's going to land once it's sewn up, and maybe you guys have a little bit smaller ring or a tad bit bigger ring, and you're like, I just don't feel like that's enough. But I'll let you guys go ahead and do your little swatch, and then we will meet back here in a little bit, and I'll show you about where I like my little swatch to sit on my ring, and then we'll talk a little bit about the assembly. And we are just about almost done, guys. You guys are doing a really good job and hanging in there. And I know crocheting with a 2mm hook is not the easiest if you don't do it a lot. So I give you guys all kudos for giving this a shot. So see you in a little bit. Okay. Okay, guys. So I got my little like swatch done, and I made it so that it'll be real tight when I put it on. So there's a couple different ways that we can do this. So the pattern says to go ahead and sew this on like this. Then we'd put the head on and sew the head on to the strap. Something else that I have done before was I went ahead and centered it here and pinned it. And then I sewed it. I went ahead, by the way, and just closed this. We left this off, I think, with 12 stitches. I just reduced it all. It's a little different than the pattern, but I'm trying something different. So you guys haven't done that yet. The pattern says to leave it, to put this on, and then to sew this on onto here. It's very difficult. What ends up happening is that you can just see the stitches really badly, and I guess maybe I just couldn't do it very well. This is the one that I had laid down and crocheted it onto this, or I actually sewed it, I'm sorry, sewed it onto this, like this, before I put it on. And this one looks a lot better, but it's not completely straight. It is very hard to get it straight that way. So I am a big, giant fan, huge fan of this 3-in-1 glue. It dries clear, it dries quickly, but it also has play. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try it. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and glue the head on to my strap, and I'm going to let that sit. And then I'm going to come back, and then I want to see, then I'm going to put it on to the ring. So I'm going to give this a test go around. If you guys do not want to glue it, you guys can go ahead and either sew the head onto it first, then put it on, or sew it on this way. What I would suggest you doing, if you're going to, and we're going to do this later, I just figured that if you guys are not doing this step, then you guys can move forward on this. So what you're going to do, because mine's going to look a little different, the best thing to do is to start at one end, like this. I hope you guys can see me, and get a stitch marker in there, something to hold it, and then go all the way to the other end, line it up, and get a stitch marker in it here. This isn't the easiest thing to do, let alone putting it on camera, so I apologize. Okay, then we're going to kind of stretch it, and then we're going to try to guess what the center is. And we're going to put C1 in the center. You don't want this to get wonky because the sides right here are showing. So you want them to be, you want it to fit perfectly. And then what you'll do is go ahead and start here at this stitch, pull the stitch marker out, and try to really focus on going through every single stitch and matching that up. This may not match up. We just put it in there to help us hold it. And then go down, get this out, and then come across and line it up again on that end. It's a little difficult, but I think you guys can do it. You guys might also want to turn it this way and sew it on so you can really see better, if you would like, if that makes it any better for you. So go ahead and work on whichever way you are going to do your head onto your body. which is this swatch piece. And I'll meet back up with you guys with that, and we'll kind of see how this one turns out. All right, guys, we're back. And believe it or not, I feel pretty comfortable about that 3-in-1 glue. I'm not going to shake it too much because it's still kind of drying. So go ahead and get all your stuff in place, pin it where you want it to go. You can sew it, you can glue it. Like these little things, I'm going to go ahead and glue. Let me show you guys how to do these spots one more time. That was going to be a chain, or I'm sorry, I chain 2 and 7 single crochets. Makes our little dot. And 7, and then what I do is I'll just tie the tail, the 2 tails together. Because I'm gluing this on, you can also, because you're sewing it on, do the same thing, I guess, huh? All right. Let's pull it through. Uh-oh, that's no good. All right, let me fix this mistake, and I'm going to be back. All right, here we are, guys. The glue seems to be working great. I went ahead and glued on my spots instead of sewing them. I hate sewing. I just hate it. So I try to glue when I can. I got the eyebrows on. I did a little slits in her nose, his nose, and we did a little white around the eyes there. And then on the back, I did a couple there. So now we are done with our little guy here, and I'm pretty happy with him. This one, I decided to change colors, but I did like this darker one much better. It just pops a little more than these more pastel colors that I picked. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining Right as Rain Crochet. I hope you guys check out my elephant and koala bear videos. And thanks again. Like always, please like, share, and subscribe.